It will interest you to know that Honorable Abdullahi Halims, a member representing Akpa Federal Constituency, is 1 year in office today, being the 12th day of June 2020. To this extent, we would like to abreast you of his journey so far, which is STEM, 1 year capacity building stewardship with Comrade Benson Aduojo.
It is a reality that Honorable Abdullahi Ibrahim Ali Halims, member representing the good people of Akpa Olamabro Omala Federal Constituency at the Green Chamber of the 9th National Assembly,
is 1 year in office today.
Of course, Honorable Halims is a godsend to his people, as he has truly distinguished and demonstrated himself as one of the most outstanding and effective federal legislators from the North Central, and in particular that Akpa Federal Constituency has ever produced in our political history. This is not an overstatement nor a praise singing, but fact that has been proved beyond reasonable doubt in his 1 year of capacity building representation. A truth not far-fetched to all and sundry, as the capacitated, result-oriented, and unprecedented pace-setting honorable member in our time has overwhelmingly written his name boldly in the outstanding legislative achievement of the 9th Assembly, and has been effectively skyrocketing the human and infrastructural development of his constituency and constituents. You may recall that the influential Honorable Halims, to start with,
was one of the few honorable
members at the Green Chamber who have been able to have successfully paved his way to be appointed chairman of the GC House Committee, a rare privilege and recognition in the tradition of the House now. To this extent, it will interest you to know that Honorable Halims, the capacity building leader, is an active chairman House Committee on Steel Development and an influential member of other GC House committees such as Agriculture, House Service, Public Account, Air Force, Oil, etc. An envious privilege which have availed him with a lot of opportunities ahead of many of his colleagues. Therewith, it is on record that the proactive legislator, in his efforts toward ensuring welfare of his people and Nigerians at large, has within just a year in office been able to have moved and sponsored imperative motions and bills, which includes an urgent need to rehabilitate Ajokuta Itobe Road of Kogi State.
To rehabilitate Ajokuta Itobe Road, and particularly the bridge.
If urgent measures are not taken to rehabilitate the road will continue to deteriorate and the bridge will soon collapse, thereby the citizens, motorists and other road users will continue to suffer untold hardship.
An urgent need to address the ecological flood disaster afflicting, devastating the people and land of Akpa, Olamabro and Omala Federal Constituency of Kogi State. An urgent need for police on highway patrol to compulsorily put on full uniforms and properly number their patrol vehicles for purpose of proper identification. A bill for an act to provide for the compulsory teaching of security and intelligence studies in the syllabus of secondary schools in Nigeria and for matters connected therewith. A bill for an act to make it compulsory for all schools to teach the Nigerian Constitution as its subject in all schools and for matters connected therewith. A bill for an act to establish a life insurance scheme for National Service Corps members and for matters connected therewith. An urgent need to establish farm settlement centers in Ikanepo, Okenyi, Emane Agaliga, and Bagana in Akpa, Olamabro, Omala Federal Constituency, Kogi State, at the floor of the House. A rare prime put of legislative achievement by a dogged and outspoken federal legislator we are proud of. Also to his credit are numerous human and infrastructural blueprints which have really put smiles on the faces of his constituents. It includes total rehabilitation of the administrative building of Young Muslim Congress Secondary School, Akpa. Donation of a bus to the Timbers Marketers Association Akpa branch.
provisions of furnitures for Bank of Agriculture, Okwo.
$500,000 contribution to the development of Adanao District Headquarters building in Emahi. Donation of a vehicle to Onu Akeshi Sakin House Sawa. Payment of school fees and offer of free educational scholarship to less privileged constituents. Facilitation of employment for about 67 unemployed constituents at the National Assembly, private sectors, and federal ministry and parastatals. Appointment of at least 72 aides. Establishment of an education outreach scheme termed Operation Go Back to School, which offered about 501 interested applicants with JAM Restoration scholarship. undertook 2019 end of the year constraint empowerment project, which has over 1,000 beneficiaries with multi-million watt materials.
I stand tall to deliver on my campaign promise of economic empowerment for the people of my federal constituency. The multiplier effect of what is taking place here cannot be quantified with all sense of responsibility. I will say this is just the beginning of many more good things to come. Amen. All I desire from you is your cooperation and support.
You are a great people. You have potential. You can do great things. But you can only achieve this if you become your brother's keeper rather than your brother's killer. Love, unity, togetherness is the solution to Ankpa problem. Without a conversation, this is the first time we are experiencing this magnitude of empowerment in Ankpa federal constituency.
Frequent distribution of food items to constituents during every festive period, establishment operation enrich the farmers, feed the nation, and agricultural promotion project with massive distribution of over 90 tons of fertilizer for farmers.
Of people that are benefiting are the entire constituents. We are enriching them, we are building them so that when they go back, they can increase their output from the farm, and that invariably will reduce poverty.
You know, we are here today again delivering fertilizer to our farmers, over 2,000 pieces of fertilizers in bags of fertilizer to our farmers. We are determined to ensure that we have food security in our federal constituency.
Objective is to monitor the whole federal constituency projects, which this one is one of them. And I'm very happy to see what I have seen today, because many times some of the honorables normally when they awarded the contracts, they meet with the agencies and collect the money.
Massive distribution of COVID-19 preventive materials and food items towards cushioning the stay-at-home exercise.
Distribution of hand sanitizer to market women now ensured by
Frequent welfare outreach to his constituents on burials, weddings, and royal homage. Renovation of mosque for the people of Ojogobi in Okeyi and others. The human and infrastructure development with which every progressive-minded constituent should be well pleased. No doubt, in cognizance of the overwhelming and unprecedented qualitative and responsive representation of Honorable Halims within this third period in office, it is crystal clear that the good people of Ankpa Olamabro, Omala Federal Constituency of Kogi State are the most luckiest people at this political dispensation and are proud of their mandate. Hence, Ankpa Federal Constituency is now at the forefront of the national attention.
Indeed, it is justifiable to say Honorable Halims is the long-awaited political messiah, whom the people of Ankpa, Olamaboro, Omala have never had before, and with whose leadership sagacity we are well pleased. Thank you for listening.